I'm not an alcoholic. I am a non-drinker. My belief that only alcoholics need to quit drinking was the barrier that kept me from ever analyzing my relationship with alcohol. So today we're going to talk about analyzing your relationship with alcohol. It's going to be a good one. Grab your coffee and let's get into it.
Grab your coffee and let's get into it.
Yeah, sadly, you don't have a coffee today.
I
Did you
don't.
wink at me right now?
No. I'll say I was smart. Grab your coffee, not your alcoholic beverage.
That's true. Not that we don't say grab your cerveza.
Never.
Grab your jalapeno margarita.
No.
We say grab your coffee.
Yep.
Coffee.
Grab your coffee.
Yeah, your favorite thing.
My favorite. I'm not giving that up.
Yeah, but it is interesting. We are going to get into that. We are in the midst of a long weekend here.
I know.
It is.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's going to be a long weekend for everybody. So I feel like every time I blink my eyes, there's some sort of holiday or something.
I was just talking to somebody about that. I think it was JT. Like, fuck, this country always wants a holiday for everything. Fuck, you want a pom-poms every month for something. Like, what the fuck?
I know.
You always want something.
How many people are going to be dragging ass back to the office on Monday?
How many days off you guys want, man? Fuck.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Dragging ass?
I know. Because what, they're taking Friday off?
Oh, no. They'll get Thursday. They'll get today off. They'll get Saturday and Sunday. And then so they go. It's a 4-day weekend for a lot of people.
Yeah. It's always something, man.
Yeah.
I'm not hating. I'm just like, dude, like, gotta work. Gotta get shit done. Fucking people don't want to get nothing done.
No, it's not that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm referring to with our clients. It always feels like there's another reason. They're like, well, what do I do on 4th of July?
Oh, no.
What do I
Nothing.
do on Memorial?
You lock in. That's what you do. I'm going to send a note like, hey, there's no freebies. So what? It's 4th of July. It's another day.
You have to learn how to not throw everything out the window the minute it's a holiday.
I'm going to ask them, did you go fight in the Battle of 1776 for freedom of America? You know what I'm saying? What are you celebrating it for? Everybody celebrates like they have something to do with it. Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. What did you do? What are you celebrating it for? Oh, it's just another holiday.
You're killing me.
Man.
You are killing me. Well, I'd like to say that my challenge officially registration is open. So you guys, this is your chance. The door's only open once every 2 months. Don't let the name fool you. It's not super restrictive, my 8-week program. It is not crazy workouts or like 75 hard or anything like that. It is the perfect way to work with me in a cost-effective way. You get all the tools you need to reach your weight loss goals, and it's open right now. The program doesn't start till Monday, July 15th. I'm going to put the link on the screen. I'm going to put the link down in the description and get registered. Do it. You will not be disappointed. If you check my Instagram, Jay's Body Bootcamp, you'll see that I'm posting up a lot of reviews and testimonials on what the current group thinks about the program. But it really is great. I love my challenge.
Yeah, it's really just community. It's not, don't get the name twisted. Like, it's not militant boot camp. Like,
no.
Oh, we're going to fast 3 days in a row and we're going to do 1,000 burpees. No, it's nothing like that. Because I think people,
like that.
They hear boot camp, though, and they think like, oh, my God, they get scared by that. So you got to know they get intimidated.
I almost feel like I need to rename it, but I'd have to change so many things to rename it. But
I know.
Because it's not
militant.
It is just teaching you. It's like basic training, teaching you the basics, the tools you need to embark on your weight loss journey. But everybody's program is different. Someone may say, hey, I want a 2-day home program. Someone might say, hey, I want a 4-day gym program. You'll get the program that you want, and I'll base your macros and what you can eat based on the activity you're committing to.
Yeah.
So everybody's is different based on what their commitments to movement are.
Exactly.
It's not crazy restrictive. It's not scary at all.
No.
It's actually quite the opposite.
I know. But I think sometimes some catchphrases or words, people are like, boot camp? No, it's not a real boot camp like that.
Also challenge, that it's a challenge.
Yeah. Yeah. She's not killing you guys with 100 burpees. Yeah. Who can do 100 burpees the fastest?
Yeah. Speaking of challenge, I wanted to pose something to you and see if you want to do this. You know, we talk about how people need coaches and accountability, and it's just nice to have that. There's, you can know what you're doing and have all the knowledge, but having a coach looking at your stuff and holding you accountable helps.
Of course.
I want us to plug into each other's matrix.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm gonna my profile in our app. I'm gonna add you as my coach, and your profile. I'm gonna be your coach. So you could see my weigh-ins. You could see my tracking. You can see, my stuff, and so that I don't slip up, and not track, because I haven't been tracking my cheat days, and that's not a good idea. That's not good. I need someone to say, look, you didn't track your cheat day.
It's a little slippery slope. I try my best, though. I do put in as much as I could in there.
Well, that's what we have to do.
We got to get a little sharper on that. Okay.
Well, yeah. So I want to.
I mean, we have to figure out though, what our cheat meals, what they actually are, though, the best that we can.
No,
right?
we just do estimates. It's still just the same what we've been doing, but I haven't been doing anything at all.
Yeah.
Just estimates, and it'll just by putting it in, it's going to cause me to scale back. I'm also going to connect, and I don't think you have your Apple Watch connected. I checked.
No.
I'm going to sync my Apple Watch and just sync it all up. My weigh-ins will be in there. Everything. Because I want the accountability piece too. I want a coach.
You want a coach now, huh?
Yeah.
You want me to drill you?
I just want you to be there like, hey, babe, like I do to you sometimes, like you didn't track or whatever,
All right.
I want you to, I want to know that you're looking and saying like, hey, you didn't track or whatever.
Okay.
I track every day, but I just don't track my cheat day, and I need to do that again. Yeah. And then I don't know, just the accountability. So just like we tell our clients, like you plug into our matrix, we're going to plug into each other's matrix.
We'll put out a note, too, to our crew, to our people. Like, we're going to hold each other accountable. Mm-hmm. We're going to coach each other. We'll talk about that. It's good. We'll do a post about that. That's a good thing.
No,
Because who are the coaches? How we had a business coach. And you ask him, who's your coach, though? Yeah, he had a business coach,
he had
too.
A coach
he had a coach. But now, do these guys all have coaches now?
No, but will you notice that, you fall out of line and suddenly you have to cut and all of that? It's because you don't have a coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's important to have that little accountability factor. Yeah. So anyways, I wanted to tell you that we're going to do that.
Sounds good.
I think I already am your coach in there, but I don't look, but I'm going to now, and we're going to connect your watch, and then I'm going to add you as my coach, because right now I have myself as my coach, and I don't want to do that. All right, moving on to a hot coffee topic. I love when I can connect our life with some Bravo celebrity news. So there was this story going around that Teresa from Real Housewives of New Jersey, her husband is in trouble because he's part of this company. I think it's called Viviana or whatever. It's it was a social media influencer platform, and he's he said he was part of the company, but apparently he's an investor in the company, and I think it went belly up pretty quickly. It never really fully got off the ground, and they threw a huge launch party, and they didn't pay their party planner. And now he owes $300,000 to the party planner. And it was in LA. It was this big to-do. And now Teresa and Louis from Real Housewives of New Jersey are all in the news about it. And guess who the party planner was? Do you remember Lorianne? We just met her at Aspire. She's a good friend of Mauricio's. We were invited to her house, but we got too tired.
Yes.
Wife of the party.
That's right.
She's the one. She's the party planner that they owe $300K to.
Wow. Well, they better pay up.
I know. Isn't it so? It's so weird. The world is so weird,
it is.
Though.
The way it connects us to certain things and people. And we just talked about that.
It's just the world is weird.
The direction that pulls you in sometimes.
Yeah. Anyways, I thought that was kind of interesting.
That's a lot of money. It's a lot of loot.
Yeah, that is a lot of loot.
Yeah. That could be criminal. That's you're not paying your bill.
No, that's a court case if they don't pay it. That's going to be, I don't.
And Teresa already has a track record.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Girl, you better tell your man to pay his bills or he's going to catch a case and drag you into it.
You know what I say? Where there is smoke, there is fire. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about something that we talk about quite frequently on our social media and here on the podcast. I want to define what we mean by food freedom.
Define it.
Because I think people oftentimes get confused and think that we mean food freedom, that we eat junk food all day and Pop-Tarts and chips and candy.
Free for all.
which that's not what we teach. That's not what we mean by food freedom.
Nope.
What we mean by food freedom is there is room, or there is you can have technically anything you want, right?
Yeah.
But what we teach is to not restrict anything, but how to make things work within your numbers. And
Yes.
psychologically, what happens when you tell someone they can have anything, but here are your boundaries. Within these boundaries, the boundaries are as long as you stay within your calories, as long as you hit your protein goal. Then they try accommodating all of the foods that they love. And at first, they do it a lot, maybe. But then they're realizing, like, oh, but now I had pizza for lunch. I don't have hardly any calories left. And now I just got to eat like pure protein to try to fit my... They start to realize it becomes difficult.
Yeah.
So what happens naturally is they become better at working the macros and maximizing their calories and not picking the pizza for lunch because it's a little harder to hit the numbers and so on. So that is what food freedom is. And what I find psychologically is you tell people they can have anything, and then they will on their own start slowly backing off from some of those things because they know they rather have more food, they rather have more meals. Then they become more creative, and suddenly they're, making more macro-friendly meals. I see it with clients all the time because they want to maximize it. They want a volume meal. And that's truly what food freedom is. Food freedom is knowing you can have anything. You just can't have as much of anything as you want.
True. You got a very good point there. Because I film everything I eat to show people.
Yeah.
But the choices that I make, that I eat what I love, but they're good for me. They're nutritious.
Right.
I'm not eating yes, can I have a serving of chips? Yes.
Yeah.
But I also have a ton of protein behind that serving of chips.
Right.
It's not like I have the whole bag of chips.
And that's what food freedom is. Because sometimes people think, you're just going to eat chips. I love chips, so I'm going to eat an entire bag of chips. No. When food freedom tells you that you can have the chips, but they have to be a smaller serving than you would do otherwise, right?
Yes.
And that you have to fit it into your macros. And that's what food freedom is. And psychologically, people do better that way. They do better at knowing they can have something rather than, say they start a program and you say, okay, look, these are this is the no-fly list. No chips, no pasta, no bread, no this, no that. And then they're just, I'm going to just go get chicken and broccoli. And then
Bingo.
And then they don't last.
No.
No.
I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine about that, how people, they go from 0 to 100, and for some reason the assumption is, I'm just going to eat. Oatmeal always comes to terms. Chicken always comes to terms. Salads always come to terms. And broccoli and tilapia. Those are like the main ones that always come. It's like, you can have all that. Doesn't mean that's all you got to eat, though.
Right.
And if you're not used to just eating that way, what makes you think you're going to succeed at that? That's not what you truly enjoy. You're really neglecting all the stuff that you really enjoy.
Right.
Are you being honest with yourself?
It's not sustainable.
No. You're going to have family events, you're going to have family outings, and that's what we teach. We teach people, so when you're out in public, you're at a restaurant, there's choices, and you can enjoy yourself. You don't have to... There's restrictions, yes, but not to the point where you have to eat something like you absolutely hate.
Right. And that's the whole point. The point is giving people the license to kind of figure that out on their own. That's what true learning is of food freedom. They'll figure it out. Be like, yeah, you know what? If you want to have that, like your client loves coffee cake. If you want to have that coffee cake, 400 calories.
Yeah.
If you can make that work and that's worth it to you, do it. But I guarantee you they're not going to want to do that very often because that day they were really freaking hungry.
Yep.
And they're like, dang, this little piece, 400 calories. They start doing negotiations with themselves or like, I could have this instead. Like, if I don't have this, I could have this. Like,
I could have a homemade burger with air fried fries, with cheese and slice of onion, with keto, but for almost the same, same price tag.
And
calories.
You start you start calculating satiety. You start thinking like, dang, that's 400 calories. It's not even going to put a dent in my hunger.
It's funny you say that because I have a certain amount of calories left, and I'm already thinking like, How am I going to stretch this? I had a big lunch. I'm like, all right, I got like almost 600 and some change. I'm like, I'm going to stretch this. I'm going to make a big, nice, scrumptious meal. You know,
Oh, scrumptious.
scrumptious, filling. Because I watch how you do it, so I'm like, I'm going to make it so it's filling. Because, you know, like I said, you can go home and waste it.
Yeah.
And be like, fuck, that was a waste.
Yeah, exactly.
Wasted my
Like I
calories.
had a delicious, my apple with the protein dip that we do, the 1UP Nutrition protein dip.
Yes.
That's 233 calories well spent.
Well spent.
Because it is very filling. It takes some time to eat. You get protein. You get fiber.
Yes.
It is calories well spent.
I'm dumb for telling you why that wasn't going to do that. That's stupid. Apple's just one of the best things for you, especially for satiety.
It was
for
funny
fiber.
because you were adding it into your app, and you're like, oh, an apple's 100 calories? Nah, I'm not going to have that often. I was like, save it as a favorite. And you said no.
It's a good one.
All right. Well, anyways, that's my little spiel on food freedom, guys. So that's what we teach. It works. It's amazing. And it is a wonderful process as you learn that you can at times fit the coffee cake in, fit the donut in, but you'll actually just learn over time to love your macro-friendly versions of things and get creative. And it's a pretty exciting process, but we love it. I mean, I never get bored of it. I've been doing it for years, and I just love it.
For sure. It's fun.
Yeah.
We're getting better at it, and we're getting creative when we're hungry.
All right, you guys, moving on to Comment Corner. This comment comes to us from Margarita Doza, and she says, alcohol isn't my problem. It is my solution. It's a quote from the episode I did with Bryce. Wow, that's deep. Great interview, and congratulations on 1 year. Because I'm 1 year alcohol free.
Good for you.
The next comment is Robin ZAK5202. Thank you for providing such helpful information. This subject definitely needs to be brought to light and discussed, not only for the addicted loved one, but for the one supporting the spouse or family in their journey to sobriety.
Bingo.
So true.
Could have said it better.
Because you don't know what, you need some support through it too.
Of course you do. People don't realize how much support helps. It's a big deal, human support.
It impacts the whole household.
Yes, it does.
It really does. It's not just the person that's addicted.
No.
I think if you have that mentality, like, oh, it's their problem, not our problem, then that's a bigger problem.
Well, hindsight's 20/20 with me. Looking back, like, damn, I didn't realize how crazy I was getting.
Jacqueline 28 says, another great show. Thanks to Janine and Mike, I committed to taking a month break from alcohol, and I am forever changed. I didn't realize the impact it was having. So she committed because we did a show and said, if you haven't taken a month off of drinking in some years, it's probably time to do like a month of sober.
Yeah.
She did that, not thinking that it would have a huge impact, and it impacted her in so many ways.
She probably felt way different, like, wow.
Yeah.
Big time.
So I think she's continuing on with that. Another comment, Christine Lamb, 1167. Janine, I appreciate that you go into so many different topics on your channel. It's about fitness and nutrition, but also all around health and taking care of yourself. This was such an important conversation. I'm so happy to hear that Mike has worked hard to face his addictions and is doing well. And good on you for being such a supportive partner for him. Also, thank you to Bryce for coming on and sharing his experience, strength, and hope. It was a good episode, and he was very open about his struggles. And 25 years he was.
I got to listen to it. I haven't listened to it.
Yeah, 25 years he was an addict.
Wow.
And he made a good point. He said, I was an addict for 25 years. It's not going to go away overnight.
No. It's the same thing. And not to get off topic, is my business coach, our business coach said is, as men, like, we got to control that monster, that beast. Don't let him out. Control your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to rage every time you feel like that. You have to take a deep breath and relax.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So, I wanted to talk about just like it's perfect because Jacqueline kind of, she was someone that commented and said she took a break. She didn't think she had a problem with alcohol. I think that because I didn't have a problem with alcohol, I didn't over consume, binge drink, blackout drink. it made me not ever stop to question my actual relationship with alcohol and what that looked like because I didn't have a problem. So I just,
You justified in your head.
yeah.
That's why. You
So
said it's okay for me because I don't have a problem with this. I don't abuse it. Yeah, I might have one here and there, but that's the extent of it. You never really got smashed out of your mind or blacked out. Now, if you started getting blacked out and get smashed, like that's a problem.
yeah, but because of that, though, it was almost a detriment because I didn't have an issue. It took me a long time to stop and think, but what is my relationship with alcohol? Like, what is it, and why do I do it? You know, and I think that that's important to think about. So, like, I also wanted to talk about what are like some of the short-term effects of drinking as you begin to analyze your own relationship with alcohol. Because in today's episode, my goal for people who are listening is for those who do not identify as having an issue, but take it from me, it's still a good idea to stop and think about what your relationship really is, because you may be surprised even if you wouldn't identify as an alcoholic. But some of the short-term effects of drinking, one of the big ones is rebound anxiety. So while the body's metabolizing the alcohol that you drank, 1 drink, 2 drinks, 3 drinks, it's going to be longer depending on how many drinks you had, your cortisol levels rise and serotonin drops.
Interesting.
So,
and then people wonder why. I had this conversation with a friend of mine. I'm not going to say who, but he finally lightweight admitted to me, hey, you don't drink tequila no more. And he goes, I haven't even had any drinks during the weekday anymore. And I go, dude, you said you were just a weekend drinker. See how the truth comes out? I said, no wonder you got a lot of anxiety, bro. You're doing it to yourself.
Yeah.
I keep telling you that. I don't know why. You're hard-headed and you don't want to listen. I'm a decade older than you, and you don't have to listen to me. Go research it for yourself.
Daily drinking, your cortisol baseline is going to be high. You know what I mean? I mean, it's proven. And your serotonin drops. Serotonin is a happy hormone.
Yeah.
You do not want your serotonin suppressed.
Hell no.
You'll get depressed. And so that's a short term, a sleep disruption too. So when your cortisol level rises, your sleep gets disrupted as well. And obviously, if you guys don't know, when your cortisol is higher, you get cravings.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, after a night of drinking, the next day usually you have a lot of cravings. You want to eat just junk food, greasy food.
Everything heavy, yes. So true.
Because your cortisol levels are elevated.
Spiked.
You probably had poor sleep, not deep sleep. You have a higher cortisol. And when your cortisol levels are repeatedly elevated, and you happen to be in a calorie surplus, or you go into a calorie surplus because maybe you have some days of drinking a lot and eating bad, like on a vacation, when those levels are elevated, the fat you gain is in the abdomen, visceral, in and around the organs.
Yeah.
So maybe normally if you were in a surplus and you weren't drinking alcohol and you were gaining some pounds, it would be like distributed elsewhere, like your normal fat distribution pattern.
Yeah.
But if your cortisol levels are elevated while you are gaining weight, that is bad, very unhealthy. It's in the visceral area. So like that's why the term beer belly
comes
that's from those hard bellies from those men that drink a lot of alcohol.
And their belly's just out to there. And it's hard. It's not even like a soft, cushy fat belly. It's different.
Because it's not subcutaneous fat. It's visceral fat. It's in and around the organs, and it pushes up against the abdominal wall. So it's just a hardened belly.
Yeah.
When someone has a hardened belly, that's fat gain that happened in the presence of high cortisol.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Good stuff to know.
So that's where the term beer belly came from.
It's so true.
So your sleep is disrupted, obviously. When's the last time you switched your budget around? If you're spending cash on eating out and buying clothes, but you don't want to spend a bit on your health, what are you even doing? Every day, from the moment you wake up until you go to bed, you have a series of choices that will make or break you. The things you eat, your physical activity or lack thereof, your sleep, it all adds up. Personally, I care about what I put in my body, and I found that it's hard to put a price on feeling like you're ready to take on the world every day.
That's why I leverage the power of hormone optimization and fully customized peptide protocols from Transcend. If you're ready to take your health to the next level, head over to the link transcendcompany.com/ESCOElite and fill out an intake form today.
High cortisol levels that stay high, cause your immune system to drop. So again, I'm thinking back to my party days, right? Not sleeping good, drinking in Vegas, eating bad. What would always happen when we get back? Get sick,
Yes.
right?
Always. Guaranteed.
Also, think about the where I used to hold my weight.
I mean, there's pictures of it.
Area.
You saw it.
It was.
You look bloated right there.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I would gain, my arms and legs would stay skinny, but it was in that area. So, those are just short term. That's all short term. Never mind the long term effects, because we won't even get into that.
Yeah. That's a whole other animal.
In this episode. But I just wanted to I stopped and think about all those things that are happening. And if you do that repeatedly, that's impacting your life.
Yeah.
Raised cortisol, poor sleep, raised anxiety, raised cravings. You cannot think that you're drinking every weekend and that is not negatively impacting your life.
And just think about this. Before you quit, even before I quit, let's just say on average on a Saturday, on our hangout day, let's just say we had 2 drinks. Or you had one on Friday, whatever, your cousin.
Yeah.
Let's say you had 2, 4 times a week. That's 8 drinks a month.
I wrote down 1 drink per week, and you're spending $80. This is just for one person. 2 drinks, $160. 4 drinks, $320. If you have 4 drinks in a month, or 4 drinks per week over the course of a month,
yeah,
that's $320. But double that if you're with your spouse, $640.
That's good to talk
That's a
about.
luxury car payment.
Dude, see how people don't look at it that way?
No.
Insane,
and that's just alcohol, not
Yeah.
the dinner. That's not dinner. That's just alcohol.
But people,
This is us, so I'm not being judgy, because this is what we would do. If we were going to drink, we're going to go out to eat, have some drinks, have dinner, we'd Uber. Another $150 a month on Ubers for those nights.
wow.
$1,000.
Things add up quick. You don't realize it.
$1,000.
Like you said, a luxury car payment right
If you are a weekend drinker, if you are a weekend only drinker with your partner, you are spending $1,000 on alcohol. So then you'd stop and think about, okay, but I don't drink that much. I only have 1 drink. Then it's fine. Then go back. Then let's just take it back and ask yourself, but why do you have the 1 drink? Because what does 1 drink do? This is where I started to analyze my relationship.
That's a good point you're making, because I drink. I want to catch a little bit of a buzz.
Right.
A little bit. I want to relax. I deserve it. It's the weekend.
Yes.
I need my vice, because someone once said to me a while back, because he was comparing weed to his drink, about my vices versus his vices. I just need to have my hand or 2 at night. It's just my relaxation. And I'm thinking why, bro? Do you feel better the next day? You know, and I'm looking, I'm like, do you really feel be honest with yourself? No, not really. I go, there's your answer.
Yeah, so I start, ask yourself, why the 1 drink? So then you take it all the way back. Why do you drink? You drink to lower your inhibitions, get a surge of those good mood, in the short term.
Yes.
You feel good. You feel happy.
Yes.
It numbs maybe some stress or some
social
trauma.
anxiety, which you said you used to have.
Yeah, lowers your inhibitions. So that's why you do it. But in order to get those benefits, you're having to drink more than 1 drink. 1 drink is not doing that for you. So if you're having to drink more than 1 drink to get those benefits, I just told you all of the other damage that you're doing because of that in the short term. Raised cortisol, poor sleep, cravings, weight gain, all that stuff, right? So then you switch to the argument to someone who says, oh, but I don't really drink that much. I only drink 1. Then the question becomes, why do you drink 1? Because it's not giving you any of those benefits. It's not really increasing your inhibitions, having a wild party night. It's numbing much. It's not doing much of anything other than giving you unnecessary calories and maybe a little headache, maybe a little tinge of not sleeping your best, and money out of your pocket. So then, I mean, these are the questions I literally had these internal battles with myself. So I'm not being judgmental.
Those are your questions for
Yes.
yourself? See, mine were different.
That was mine.
Mine was like, it got slapped in the face. I thought, I'm a 48-year-old man. I started drinking at a young age, trying to be fitting with the homies, with the old school 40 ounces. And I asked myself, I go, why am I drinking? I'm 40-something years old. I've already done enough partying for 10 lifetimes, like the kind of amount of partying that I've done. I looked at into our wild days, like, why am I even drinking? I don't need this. This is just another vice I don't need. And that's what was my reason. I don't need this no more. And just said, no mas, I'm done. Just like that. That was my reason. Be like, I don't need this. I need to grow up. That's what I told myself. I need to be a man. I need to grow up. This is childish. I don't need alcohol. This is for kids. That's what I thought. That's exactly why I gave it up.
Yeah, for me, it was a little different. I really started to analyze my relationship with it and think, why do I ever say yes then? Because there's more, you're creating a list on the positives and the negatives, and like I said, we're not even getting into the long-term effects, but if you're creating a list, there's not a lot of positives. Now, let's look at the positives that there are, though. So it generates like that happy feeling, that buzz kind of feeling. It lowers inhibitions, you perceive it to reduce anxiety, but it's not reducing anxiety. It's lowering inhibitions because you've told yourself that you need it socially to function.
You need it.
I think of it like a crutch, like a true crutch. If you tell yourself like that your ankle is hurt and you're on crutches and you're crutching around and your ankle's hurt, and you never try to walk on that ankle, your ankle will never feel like it's healing. Like you just walk around and then you think one day you look down and you go, I wonder if I can walk now without the crutch. And you take the crutches off and you start walking. You're like, oh, yeah, it feels okay.
Yeah.
It's ready.
You're right. You do heal.
That is what happens with drinking. Like you think you need the crutch.
Yes.
So you're using the crutch.
Yep.
But have you ever tried to put the crutch down?
That's a good way of looking at it.
And say, let me try it without the crutch. Maybe it's not as hard as I thought it was.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I thought I had the crutches. I was walking around on the crutches. Thought, oh, social situation. I got to drink. I got to have drinks. And then I didn't.
Interesting.
And then this is what would happen. So then I'm taking it back again. So then I told myself, okay, I'm just not going to drink as much. I'm going to have one every once in a while. This is when I first kind of started to think about quitting. And then I thought to myself, okay, I'll just have one. But because I didn't have a hard line in the sand, I'm still a drinker. There's a chance that there will be an event where someone's buying me drinks that I drink too much. And then that's what would happen. Because I stopped wanting that feeling, that gross hangover feeling years ago. And I started to get into drinking craft cocktails that I loved. But because I still was a drinker, I was still open to the possibility that I could still have a bad night. So enter in going out with friends. We went out with your friend Ivan in San Francisco one night.
Yeah.
And because he was buying drinks, I overdrank. Do you remember that?
Yes, you're right.
Do you remember?
Did I even have a drink at all? I don't think I did at all.
I don't think so. You drove. I don't think
you drank. I think I
drank.
was Sober Sally, yeah.
You were Sober Sally.
I was sober.
And I overdrank, and you said I was slurring.
That's
you remember?
right.
You said, oh, babe, you're slurring. And I remember the next day, and nothing happened. It was no big deal.
Yeah.
But the next day, I felt like such shit. And I was so mad at myself. Like, why did I do that? And again, it's because when you don't have a hard line in the sand, like, hey, I don't drink.
Even if it's free.
Now I know it'll never happen again.
Yes.
But when I was still open to having a cocktail here and there, there's a possibility that it's going to happen. In fact, my track record proves that about once a year, I would overdrink and have one of those situations happen. And I hated the feeling. The anxiety the next day when you know you drank too much. And what did I say? What did I do? Just kind of embarrassing.
How did I act?
Yeah.
Because I know I had some stupid-ass moments when I would drink. Oof, embarrassing.
Yeah, I have an embarrassing one that I'm going to share that I've never shared with anybody. It was not that long ago. It was one of the reasons why I did I started to think like, I'm too old for this. Okay, so it was maybe like 2 years ago, and we went to Napa for my sister's birthday party.
Okay.
And we went wine tasting and stuff. And I already don't do well with wine. I feel like I'm a little allergic to it.
Wine is crazy. Yeah.
Keep in mind, I was perimenopausal at the time, really getting close to like official menopause. And we had drank all day at the wineries, and we walked downtown and we're bar hopping. And we went to a restaurant, and I like touched right here, and I realized that I had peed my pants, my jeans.
Really?
I had peed, and I was struggling with incontinence a little bit, but enter in alcohol, then you have zero control.
Oh.
And so I was drunk and having to figure out, like, what the fuck do I do? There's pee, literally a pee state. Can you imagine Miss COJ, if I see anybody who knows me from the podcast?
I know, right?
Or whatever. I went to the bathroom, and there was a hand dryer there, and I literally stood by the hand dryer
forever
to try to get it to, and I was like one leg up, trying to people coming in. I'm like, oh well, I'm gonna be embarrassed with the people coming in, but it's better than being embarrassed if the whole group of girls that I'm with sees I peed my pants, or if I have to walk all the way back to the hotel
of shame. Yeah.
That I peed my pants. Here I am, a 40-something-year-old woman. And I freaking am walking around like an idiot because I drank too much and I peed my pants. And so that was that was where the next morning I felt like crap. We had Taco Bell at 2:00 in the morning. Acted foolish, I'm sure, just dumb.
Yeah.
And then I woke up thinking, I am too old for this shit. Like, this is too much.
Yeah.
That was the last time I drank to the point where I did something like that.
Funny.
And I never shared it. I was so embarrassed. I never told a soul. I didn't know my sister. None of the people I was with knew. I never told a soul, but it's just something it was just another thing of like, I was having internal battles for a while, if I'm being completely honest, of why do I do this to myself?
Yeah.
Why? What are the benefits?
I also ask myself or wonder why some guys that are older than me in their 50s, like, why are you still drinking, bro? Like you've been doing this as a kid, probably like somewhere near my age. You haven't had enough of this yet? That's kind of what woke me up. What was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Why? I mean, isn't it enough? You know, and that's kind of what was like, it just bing, like, enough's enough. I'm done with it. I don't need it. That's it. I just made my decision. I decided, committed, executed, and stuck with it, and haven't looked back since. And I'm okay. And it hasn't phased me. I've seen some pretty drinks and they look good, but so what? I'm good.
You know when the last time, I'm wondering if that was your last time drunk. I know your last time that you drank too much.
Where was that at?
It was my birthday dinner, not last year, obviously not this recent year, the 1 year before.
What did we do?
Not my birthday dinner, I'm sorry. It was Lisa's birthday dinner. So it was 2 years ago, because it was right around when Karma died. We went to dinner in Los Gatos for her birthday. And you and I, for whatever reason, we decided to have a little pregame.
Stupid.
Which was a bad idea.
Yes.
Because I couldn't understand what was happening with you. We're at dinner. Because you were not someone to overdrink too often. The alcohol wasn't your vice.
That shit smacked me. That was stupid. That's right.
Because I could tell you were getting drunker throughout the dinner. And I could just...
Because mixed drinks, too. I don't remember what we had at the house, and then we had something there.
Sangria, and then we had hard alcohol there.
No, that's why. That's all bad.
But I could tell it was like an emotional drunk. It wasn't a rowdy drunk. It was an emotional drunk, and you were like pulling up old pictures in your phone. I'm like, why are you doing this? We're at dinner with another couple. It was just odd. And I didn't realize why were so drunk, because we only had 2 drinks there. But then it dawned on me after that you had the sangria at the house, because when we got up to leave, you were slurring, you like tripped on the way out. And when I saw that you went for the second drink, I had 1 drink at dinner. I stopped drinking because I could tell, and so I didn't drink. I drove us home.
Why do we have sangria? Somebody made some good ass sangria, right?
Elizabeth brought us sangria for whatever reason.
Oh, and I'm not a sangria guy.
No.
See, that's what I'm saying. Wine is dangerous.
That was the last time you got drunk.
Damn.
I don't know. It just goes to show you. And I think I want to read this quote from a book. There's a book called from Holly Whitaker. It says, "Quit like a woman." It says, "I believe that alcohol will experience its own cigarette moment, a reversal in public opinion and a rejection of it by mainstream culture, seen as something we used to do. Once we remove our willful ignorance of its harmful effects on us personally and collectively, I imagine our grandchildren will one day be shocked by the idea that there was once a point in time where we drank ethanol at almost every occasion. The same way I'm always shocked to see pictures of my aunts and uncles smoking indoors at a family party."
That part. I like what she said too.
Yeah.
Ethanol.
Ethanol.
What I always say, what do race cars operate on? The ones that go 0 to 100, the funny cars.
Yeah.
Pure alcohol, ethanol. That is pure alcohol that's running those motors. And we're putting that in our body. I just want to know, we'll have to research it, is when did it become okay? Like, when did it become accepted in society? How far back does it go? You think because they use it in religion, that was socially acceptable?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a
Because
good thing.
it's been around a long time, but it's socially acceptable. Like, you think that priest that's drinking Jesus' blood or God's blood, that's wine, bro. Who you fooling? You're getting tipsy up there while you're giving your sermon, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're getting bent. I didn't dawn on me before.
I used to. Okay, so I went to Catholic school, obviously,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And we would take communion. I
Yeah.
would never. Would you believe there was a time where there was a line for the communion, and then there was a line to drink wine, and all they would do is wipe off the rim, and then you drink a little sip of the wine. And then
Even the
they'd wipe
kids?
off the rim, the whole line of people.
The
yes,
kids too?
everybody.
Oh my!
I never did though.
How the hell is that
Never
legal?
once did I do that. I also never allowed the
That's
priest
disgusting.
to place the communion in my mouth for me. I put it in my hand and take it. I was always like, oh hell no. Even as a child, you know.
Wow, something you knew something.
Yeah, it was just like it was weird to me. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're right. I don't know. I think
Yeah.
that's interesting to know like where that came from. But I do believe, even though it's still one of the things that people look at you weird if you say you don't drink. I do believe there's a movement, though. I
No,
do
there is.
believe
There
there's
is.
more and more
No,
people
there is.
who are doing like what we're doing, what we
Yes.
did, analyzing their relationship with alcohol and choosing to not drink, putting that hard line in the sand.
No, there is. I'm getting a friend of mine's tagging me on a lot of things, talking about there is a movement, more people. And you know what's crazy is out of all my siblings, there's two actually, but one that has no relationship with alcohol at all. Never has, never will, never nothing. And she says, hey, people used to give me shit all the time. She just doesn't fucking care for it to like it. She doesn't have not one sip, not nothing. Not once. The rest of us, yes, but not her. And people used to like give her shit about it.
Yeah.
This is not it. It's just not something for her. She never.
I was totally that person to think that somebody who didn't drink was weird and boring. That was me.
You said that about me. You thought,
Yeah.
I hope this trainer parties and drinks, and little do you know
I know.
that beast inside of there. Who would have known?
You know what? I'm so glad that I put down the crutches and realized I didn't
Feels
need
good.
the crutches.
Feels liberating, doesn't it?
It does.
Feels like you take the power back.
Yeah.
Kind of like, again, I know it's different, but it's kind of like when you have in control of eating.
Yes.
You have the power. That's what I tell my guys. You have the control. It's the same thing when we fast. We're mastering our hunger. Is it hard? Yes. Are we hungry? Yes. But we're mastering it. We're in
Yeah.
control. I say when I get to eat,
Right.
not my stomach. I pick. I get to choose.
Exactly.
Same thing. I don't want to drink, then I said so.
And I
Period.
also love, for me, the only guarantee that I was not going to have that annual horrific hangover was that I just never drink at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the only way to guarantee you're never going to die in a plane crash is not to fly.
True.
Right?
Yes.
So it's kind of like I need to guarantee that this is never going to happen to me again because I never got intentionally really badly drunk. It was always like accidental. It's usually because somebody else was plying me with drinks.
Yeah. My ass is just too extreme for myself. If I'm partying at a nightclub setting, once I start, it's all the way. There's no half step, and I'm just going to have one drink, and that's it. I don't do that. That's a problem.
I can. See,
I know you could.
I can.
And you could say no, because when you're competing, you didn't touch it.
No, I didn't touch
remember
it. And
You're-
we went out quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. You're in control, and that's good control. That's good.
Yeah.
That's almost envious. Like, damn, look how much control she has of not giving in.
Yeah.
The whole scene, everybody is giving in, and you're sober. You've probably seen a lot of fuckery going on around us.
Yeah. It's interesting because I follow, actually, I'm I'm pretty sure we've worked together. She was a client of mine at a time, and a couple of times actually. She's come back and forth, and I follow her on Instagram, and she lives a sober lifestyle, and she would post about it all the time. And I remember reading her posts, and some of them I started to kind of think about. It's funny how it just goes to show you how pay attention to the content you consume, because it does influence you.
It does,
over
right?
time. I remember at first thinking, oh, it's kind of boring, not drinking. And then I would start to see, like, she would post a lot about it. Like, oh, you know what's good about this holiday? Knowing that I'm not going to be hungover tomorrow. And she would post things like that.
Got you
And
thinking,
it started to get me thinking. And I talk about it today, even on this show, not to be judgmental. I talk about it because I wish I would have kind of analyzed my relationship with alcohol sooner. And maybe if more people that were influential in my life, or podcasts that I listened to, and it was talked about more, maybe it would have influenced me sooner to start thinking about it. But it started to influence me. There was several people that I watched that I would also watch people who struggled with it. They would stop drinking, their life would flourish and be amazing. Then they would start drinking again, their life would kind of like decline a little bit. It started to make me think like, maybe there is something to that.
You guys, I am just busy these days, and on these busy days, MegaFit Meals comes in clutch. They keep me on track with their macro balanced meals. They have delicious options. All you have to do is heat and serve. They are constantly updating their menu. They even have some treats. The best part about it is there is no subscription required. You simply order online. They ship nationwide. You've got to give them a try. Use code Janine for a discount. That's JEANINE.
You know what's funny? Also got me thinking is like, I wish I was a pure warrior. A pure warrior, meaning of pure heart, meaning like a person who said no from the beginning of everything.
Oh.
A pure warrior. I was destined to be a warrior, a fighter warrior, and I said nothing to nothing. And I respect that. People who have never done drugs or drank, it's like, wow, you're pure, man. I have kudos to you, man. That's fucking dope. That is dope. You're pure. I wish I had that. You know, I wish I just do, because it just caused me nothing but trouble throughout my life. It's got me in a lot of trouble. It's got me arrested quite a few times. I've ended up in jail. So again, it's done nothing but more harm than good for me, you know?
And you know what the thing is? You have to be ready. Nobody can tell you. I can't tell anyone to stop drinking. I'm not going to be that person. You have to be ready. You have to do it in your own time. But it is important to stop and think. You know, Bryce mentioned it, and I think we talked about it on the last episode, but he said, stop and really take stock in your life. If you want to know if you potentially could have, a problem, how's your life? How is your relationships? How's your success? How's your work life? How's your happiness?
Yes.
And then, and another thing you have to...
I want to say something while you're on this real quick. Something that hit me with one of my clients. I was deep. He sent me a message 2 weeks into the program. 2 months. He goes, damn, bro, thank you for everything. My relationship with my coworkers is better. My relationship with my kids are better. My mood is better. He gave up drinking. He was one of those weekend dudes. People come over the house. He's kind of a homie. And it was just a natural thing to drink. And now he's like, you kind of gave me a new lease on life. I feel much better. I'm like, bro, stay on the path. I promise you, you'll look back one day and be like, I wish I'd done this sooner. So that made me feel good.
Yeah.
Not so he's having success losing weight.
Right.
That's a piece of it. But just that part of it, giving up his vice, that made me feel good.
Yeah. And
inside. That warmed my heart.
The thing I was going to say is I think it impacted me in a lot of ways too. When your cortisol is elevated, it doesn't take much. Think about it like a glass, and the cortisol is filled up pretty high because of the alcohol. If you drink, if your cortisol is high from drinking, and then you have a stressful situation, what happens? The glass overflows. And so I was easier to snap.
Of course.
Everything was a big deal.
Yes.
And I would lose my shit. And now I'm a little bit more like, I have more tolerance. My glass has more room for more stress.
Yeah, you can take it on better.
Yes.
That's what people don't realize. So true.
Yeah, and you just have to stop to think. It does change your life a little bit, and you got to think like, where do I find my joy? A lot of people all they know to find joy is go having some drinks, but You just have to really ask yourself, is it really bringing you joy? And what other things can you plug in instead that are, sometimes I get so excited to crack open a ice cold
I already
Diet
know what you're
Coke.
going to say, yes.
Saturday you handed me a Diet Coke, and I got like happy inside. I'm like, this is the feeling I used to get when they would deliver me a jalapeno margarita. So it's pretty cool that I've been able to channel that to something else.
Yeah, see? I've enjoyed that one-up spicy jalapeno margarita pre-workout. It's good.
See? You don't need the alcohol.
No, I'm good with it. Kind of like, all right, kind of reminds me of what it used to be, no alcohol.
Yeah.
So
anyways, that's my spiel. Just maybe stop and think, analyze your relationship. And even if you do, and the conclusion of that analysis is you're going to keep doing it, by all means, keep doing it. But if you're at least aware, maybe you'll make better decisions and you'll scale back a little bit.
That's true. Facts.
Just by the awareness.
Yep.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you later.
Peace.